I want to thank Don and everybody for having me today. My name is Jesse Brewer, and I am your District 3 Boone County Commissioner. They say every good presentation does three things: quotes a great leader, tells a funny joke, and uses the United States of America in it somehow. If you indulge me for about the next 12 minutes, I'm going to hit all three of those. I, like many of you, own a small business. I'm a real estate investor and partner with CAP Real Estate Brokerage Property Management Company. We invest in and manage hundreds of multifamily properties in the Kentucky, Cincinnati region. Like many here, I grapple with biweekly payrolls, I provide family insurances, and am accountable to clients. I've relished the peaks of success, and I have weathered the storms of near failures. From these journeys, I am convinced that a robust small business landscape is crucial for a flourishing local economy and the foundation of an enriched quality of life for everyone. In 2018, I was drawn to public service aiming to not only safeguard our county's existing business environment, but enhance it as we navigate through the digital age. To do so, I want to stress a few of the following points. Number one, transparency and effective communication. We're the fastest growing county in Kentucky. Every day, new families are choosing our community as their home. And you know what? It's only fair they know where their hard-earned tax dollars are going. But we need to do more than that. We should be out knocking on their doors and letting them know how we're going to make Boone County even better. Secondly, fiscal responsibility and limited regulations. Let's be honest. Taxes are not a magic solution. In fact, they sometimes stifle our creative and innovative spirit. Yeah, we need money for roads, schools, public safety, and things like that. That's a given. But isn't there a smarter way? This hiking up the tax rate isn't the answer. Frankly, it feels lazy. In our jobs and our business, when costs go up, we don't just throw our hands up in the air. We get creative. We adapt. And I want to continue fostering that same mindset in our county government like we have been. And here's something close to my heart. As someone who grew up in very humble beginnings in a single parent household. Boone County, everyone in Boone County deserves a fair shot. While hard work and personal responsibility are key, we can't pretend that everyone starts from the same place. Some folks face bigger hurdles than others. And our role in county government is to help level that playing field and to ensure everyone has a chance to shine. And last but not least, transportation and infrastructure. Good roads and solid infrastructure equates to continued growth, success, and a high quality of life. And while we can't do it alone, we need our partners at every government level. We need to ensure that when the funds do come in from the federal and state, that Boone County's first in line and we're ready to roll. The great Ronald Reagan, the quote from the leader, here it comes, once said this: politics is the second oldest profession. But I've realized over the last few years, it bears a great similarity to the first. You may be right about Washington and Frankfurt, but here in Boone County, I have the luxury of working with the judge executive and fellow Boone County commissioners who are committed to the success of our county. While we don't always agree on everything, all of us put Boone County's ambitions before our own. Before I go on and highlight some of our county's recent successes over the past few years, remember one thing. Running a county isn't like running a small business. It's not, or anything else in the private sector. We're not in it for the profit and loss statement. Our return on investment comes from network, collaboration, teamwork, and the quality of life we can deliver to our customers, taxpayers. It also comes from inside the county and with the relationships we've developed at the federal, state, and other local levels of government. But what are some of our wins? We got a lot. I don't have all day, so I'm going to keep this brief like I promised. Transparency and communication. Do you receive what's happening in Boone County? If you don't, you call the judge's office and get it. Filled with all kinds of information of what your county government is doing and how they're working to better improve the quality of your everyday life. Our county financial statements are on open.gov and our audits. So anyone at any time from the privacy of their own home, whether it be at 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, can log on and see how their tax dollars are being spent and where they're going. The county strategic plan involves the hiring of a communications director, which we are actively in search of, to help better communicate with our constituents. Recently, we sent out a communication survey. Some of you may or may not have seen it, to engage with the public and find out the preferred methods of communication, which is changing more and more in the modern day digital age. On a personal note for communication, I created the website commissionercorner.com, which was established to proactively communicate with the citizens of Boone County. A couple of times per month, I put out a video about a new transportation improvement, voter information, an event, parks, things of that nature. Anything designed to keep Boone County citizens informed. We also send out a newsletter and boost online social media posts to help get the message out on multiple platforms. Given the high growth in our population, I established a citizens resource page within the website, creating a one-stop shop for new families moving to Boone County. And if you hit the QR code on the things I put on the desk, which you can take with you, you can see it. But it answers questions like how to register to vote. Where do I get my new driver's license? How do I find out about the schools? What parks do we have? So on and so on. Now I'm going to talk about fiscal responsibility and limited regulation, because those are key successes for our county. Each year I've been in office, I'm proud to say we have lowered the property tax rate. Our county team is always working tirelessly to value engineer. Let's go find money off and make it cheaper. Any capital improvement project to maximize the use of county taxpayer funds. Now, some of you may be wondering, that all sounds great, but how have you leveled the playing field? Well, for starters, we are the first county in the United States of America to offer broadband for the entire county by partnering with Cincinnati Bell Ultra Fiber. Utilizing ARPA funds and leveraging county revenues, Boone County was able to invest upwards of $14 million and deliver high-speed internet to more than 40,000 residents. 40,000 residents. And now, several other counties in the area are doing what they always do, following Boone County's lead, doing the same. This has created opportunities for our school kids like they've never had before and given them the edge they need to succeed in today's competitive educational environment. It's also given seniors who live in rural areas opportunities to seek medical care via telehealth services. And in the unfortunate circumstance ever arises where our schools and workplaces are ever shut down again, parents will be able to work from remote, provided their profession calls for it. Kids will be able to continue their education, and our seniors will be able to seek the much needed medical advice and care they need without driving to a public Wi-Fi hotspot in hopes they can get a connection. I'm also proud to report that at the county, we created an elder abuse task force, which brings awareness to our seniors on scams, trying to cheat them out of their hard-earned money and assets through town halls and other community partners initiatives. On a personal note, I created the Brewer Foundation, which has two primary missions. First, we award scholarships to a graduating senior from each of the Boone County schools each year who demonstrates their love of community and civic engagement by being involved. Simple application process, and maybe an interview. Secondly, we have our flagship program, Holiday Angels. This one's near and dear to my heart because each year we take kids shopping for winter necessities such as coats, hats, gloves, and holiday toys. I was once one of those children growing up, not having all of these things. And while my father did the best he could, sometimes he came up a little short. And because of these first-hand experiences, I feel that every child deserves warm clothes in the winter, food in their stomach, and a gift at Christmas. Things which continue to give them hope, feeling of being loved and taken care of, regardless of their family's economic status or political affiliation. Last, I'm going to talk about transportation and infrastructure and how they're vital to any community in Boone County, especially here. I can go on all afternoon about the projects and wins we've had, but instead, I promise you, I'll highlight a few and keep this one brief. Maybe you've driven out to Hebron and took the new Graves Road exit. Maybe, or recently, you've driven through Richwood Road and noticed that new interchange improvement. Mount Zion Road, while this one was just a tad bit behind schedule, no one can deny the improvements to that corridor. Have you driven down Pleasant Valley Road recently? Or have you seen the countless new sidewalks and multi-use paths all over the county, creating connectivity and opportunities for exercise and leisure like we've never had in the county before? We're working hard by bringing water for all of rural Boone County. It's hard to believe, but in 2023, we have a public school that did not have access to public water. that still relied on well water and water being hauled to them. Thanks to partnerships we've created with county government and other local agencies, I'm proud to report that will no longer be the case. And in line with fiscal responsibility and infrastructure, a few years ago, my fellow court members and I created an infrastructure fund, which guaranteed that revenues from newly developed properties that were coming into the county would be restricted and only used to not only sustain current county infrastructure, but be put forth to current new infrastructure needs as the county's needs continue to develop and change. Engagement in county and local government is crucial for citizens because these levels of governance has the most direct impact on their daily lives, affecting everything from local roads, maintenance, public safety, school funding, zoning, and public health initiatives. By actively participating, residents can ensure their needs and perspectives are considered in the decision-making process. Furthermore, local governments are more accessible and responsive to individual constituents compared to larger federal entities. Engaged citizens foster transparency, hold officials accountable, and can influence policies to better reflect the community's needs and values. In essence, active citizen involvement ensures a more democratic, representative, and effective local governance. Please visit my website. You can hit the QR code there, subscribe to it, and keep informed of updates that we put out as Boone County continues to move forward. And with that, if we have a few minutes, I'll take any questions. Questions from me? Don't be shy. Yep. Sure. So we every 10 years when the census comes out, we have to redistrict the commissioner districts because while we vote countywide, you have to live in a certain geographical area to run. This year we were late due to the pandemic with all the data coming out, and we just finalized that redistricting. The only change was to my district. District 2 shrank a little bit in the Oak Brook area and absorbed in my district 3, and that's due to population of the county, and they kind of divided up in a margin of error of how far we can be apart. We established a committee. Each commissioner designates a person that work at the clerk's office and our folks over at GIS to really nail down the geography and the population, and put out a report that we have to adopt a fiscal report, which we just did a meeting or two ago. Good question. Thank you.
Question would be on
Saturate, like if there's too much, like the absorption rate.
like how many apartments being built for what they need.
Well, that I've asked that very same question multiple ways in different ways, and I always get a runaround different answer. So I don't really know. I do know we don't have enough, and I think the shortage that we have, and we like to use the word obtainable housing, not affordable housing, because you got folks coming in that maybe want a starter home or a new apartment, so we call it obtainable housing. And it's no secret with the real estate market the way it is, especially here in our area, Boone County is very short on obtainable housing. And we've been talking about things at the county to try to how maybe we can play with some zoning changes and density things in the future to help alleviate some of that problem. So I'm District 3, which is mainly the city of Florence. And then District 2 would be Commissioner Chet Hand, which is Union, Richwood, that area out through there. And then District 1 is Commissioner Flagg, Burlington, Hebron, Petersburg, things like that. We all kind of three come together. Pleasant Valley seems to be like the magic spot. I think the school districts kind of come together there for Ryle, Cooper, Boone, Commissioner districts. So Pleasant Valley seems to be the magic point where a lot of things come together. Kelly Elementary out in Petersburg. Hard to believe. I couldn't believe it either. I was floored. And their water tested high for lead, and I believe that's what got the wheels in motion. Yes, sir. That one I'm not too sure on. Judge Moore probably know a lot about that, but I know we're getting ready to widen Donaldson. There's some work going on connecting Pleasant Valley over, Hopeful. There's a lot of other things like that in the works with the road plan. A lot of design builds going out. We could probably do you could probably get a whole presentation done from our county engineer about road projects, actually. Don. You know, that's a pretty big ominous project, and I heard they were having some monetary issues over there, but I imagine it looked great gravity today, but that's going to be a couple years out, I would assume, given the size and magnitude of that building, the scope of that work. I mean, that's going to be a while, but I know some folks involved over there, and they were working out some kinks with some value engineering. I have no idea. Yeah, I might be in the city. I have no idea what they're building out there. Is that the Amazon facility? Oh, that's where that's in the city. So that's the Roy Rogers project in Drury. I knew it was somewhere out there, but I didn't know exactly where. Usually when I get questions like that, I call Matthew or text Matthew. Or him or Rob Franksman. So great questions. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
When they started this, because did they base it on, the need? Did they base it on the way that they need? What's happening, which they talk to me, like one nurse. And what's happening is they're opening up like crazy. And, even if they can populate them, they just don't get them.
That's a good.
They're going to have to go backward, which is a shame because I just want to, because it seems like they all kind of open within a short period of time.
Sure.
And I just wonder where the thinking or the had for when they started this idea to do this, if they didn't know down the road, because it's a shame.
Well, that's a good question. I think that's like any business. They have their own private firms do market research, and if the zoning calls for it, then they go in and they build it if they can get it zoned properly. I think like with any retail store, restaurant, or gas station, they hire firms to look at population, look at logistics. Boone County is in an area of the country where you can reach 68% of the population within 8 hours. So it's very centralized location. So that's probably part of it where like mom or son or daughter may live here and they want to be somewhat close to where they don't have to move, but can still be within a close amount of drive. So factors like that, I would imagine going to the decision-making process, but that's the private sector at work. And I can't, sometimes they win, sometimes they don't, just like we do at county government. Yes, sir, Greg.
What do you consider to be the primary problem that needs to be addressed right now?
Well, we don't have any problems. This is rainbow land. Transportation infrastructure with roads and getting projects funded and going and moving along. Our projects are suffering the same, consequences from labor shortages, cost overruns, and inflation like everybody else. So we're battling those same battles. So just ensuring that we can get the right people, pricing, and equipment to get our jobs done to improve our roads is a challenge, is one of our bigger challenges. That, and as I was mentioned earlier, the housing situation, I think that's a big one we need to look at and try to figure out how we can do to help bolster our housing stock.
Any other questions from the commission? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.